As always, thanks for joining me in the kitchen. Today's episode, we're gonna get away from food a little bit. And you can't say Puerto Rican holidays without this drink. What's that drink? Coquito. What is coquito? In English, we call it eggnog. But to me, it's Puerto Rican eggnog. Tastes way better than your traditional eggnog. So what we're gonna get into this recipe. Super simple, super easy, and we're gonna go from there. And don't forget to like and subscribe. Okay, our first step into making coquito. We have this evaporated milk. This is just the brand I use. Use the brand you use. And like I said earlier, there's gonna be a lot of people that do their coquito, different ways. Of course, they're gonna have evaporated milk. Also, some people use coconut milk. I do not use coconut milk. So then our next step is to take 2 eggs. And what we want to do with these 2 eggs, we just want the yolk from those eggs. Okay, as you can see, I got the first one in there. So let me show you my method. And I have this little bowl over here just to show you my method. Some people may have a better method than me to get just the egg yolk, but this is my method. This is what I do. I just do that and stuff, and then I pour it in there. Done. Now, what we're gonna do, let's get our handy dandy whisk, and we're gonna just incorporate all this together. And so, like I said, each person is gonna do theirs differently. Some people are gonna use eggs, some people are not, and we're going to cook these eggs, okay? Don't worry about salmonella or anything like that. I know some people that back in the day that they wouldn't even cook it. They just put it in there and mix it all together and go on about it now. But we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna cook this down. We have our medium saucepan here, and I have mine electric stove on a 5 on medium heat. So again, these ingredients are going to be based on the size and batch of coquito you're gonna make. I'm just making a small batch. So that's why I'm using 1 can of each of the ingredients. Now, if you make a bigger batch, of course, you might have to do 2 cans. You might have to do 3 cans. It all depends on how big of a batch you're going to make. Okay, so like I said, we have that. We have all of that incorporated with that egg. As you can see, there's no yolk, there's no nothing in there. It's all incorporated good. So what we're gonna do now, let's pour it in here. And we're doing this also because with that egg, not only do we want it to cook, so we ain't worried about salmonella. The other thing is, this is gonna help this thicken up just a little bit. We don't want it crazy thick or anything like that, but this just helps it thicken up a little bit. But it's not gonna be to where you're like, oh man, this is too thick or anything like that. No, it's gonna be a good consistency. So we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna cook this down, like I said, for about 5 minutes. As you can see, we're getting those little bubbles in there. It's starting to thicken up. We're just working on it here. We've been stirring it, constantly watching this. We don't want anything to stick to the bottom or anything like that. As you can see, 5 minutes is up. As you can see, it thickened up really good. I like the consistency of that. You don't need it any thicker than that. This is the consistency it should look like. Now, the other thing is we're gonna let this cool for about 25 to 30 minutes before moving into the next step. Now that our mixture of evaporated milk and the eggs has cooled, we're gonna go ahead and put it in our blender here. You see the thickness on that? After it sits, that's how you want it. And then what I'm gonna do, I'm just gonna come in here and just gonna take a little bit of the rest of that and put it in there. Okay, now our next step. Don't be like me and get it on the side of your blender. Okay, here comes one of my other favorite parts. So, you got your condensed milk, your sweetened condensed milk. Let's go ahead, I could just eat this can by itself. Then I'll be on what they call a diabetes path, right? So you want 1 whole can of this in there, and let's help it out. Let's get it in there. Some people put coconut milk in there and crema de coco. I like Coco Lopez, so this is what I put in mine. And so I'm gonna open that up. And now again, it's on the thick side a little bit, so you know it's gonna just drop in there maybe at some point. Whoop, there we go. So we get that in there. And our next step is just to go ahead, take a little bit of cinnamon. Pop, 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 just a little bit there. And I almost forgot one other thing. Just a little bit of vanilla. Just for taste. So boom, there you go. That's all you need. Now, next step is to blend it up. Okay, my friends, we're almost there. Our next step is to, of course, get that off of there. Let's get this lid off. And I like to pour it in this bowl. And as you can see, phenomenal. Came out nice and smooth. That's what you want. Now my favorite part is the rum. The rum. Made in Puerto Rico. Now again, some people are going to use, you know, different liquors, but me, I stay true to that Bacardi. So how I like to measure, you measure how you measure. So I like to say this. Here's to the friends. Here's to the family. And here's just to overall success and good wealth. Now you make this as strong or as not strong, if you want to put it in terms, as you want to when you're making this recipe. Now what we'll do, let's mix that together. And of course, you know, we got to give it that taste test. Okay, let's see what we got. Perfect. Every time. You use my method of friends and family, and for good measure, you can't go wrong. Okay, now here comes the next part. Have yourself a funnel, a ladle, or whatever kind of spoon you may be able to get into a bottle that you have. Or if you're a good pourer, you may be good to go. But before that, oh, almost forgot, cinnamon stick in the bottle. The longer that sits in there, the better it'll be. So there you have it in there. So my next step is this right here. Take it. We don't want to waste any of this. This is gold here. This is gold. And we're just going to go ahead and get it in there. And that, my friends, is how you make coquito. So my batch made about a bottle and a half. Probably would have been more if I didn't put it in a cup. But anyway, if you have never made it, try this recipe. You know, try some other ones out there. I just keep it traditional to how I know. Also, if no one in your family or friends or anyone has ever tried coquito at the office or wherever, make this for the next Christmas party. You go into a family gathering, these holidays, or even if it's not the holidays, make a batch of this. It will be a hit, I promise. You're gonna let this sit in the refrigerator overnight, let those flavors come together even more, and when it's cold, it's even better. So if I come to your next family get together and you ain't got no coquito, we're gonna have some explaining to do, okay? So, as always, what kind of person would I be if I didn't try my own product? Man, that's good. That Bacardi's hitting just right. And as always, hug your loved ones, tell them you love them. Until next time, peace.